from Turner Sports, the exclusive home of the NBA All-Star Game in 2020 from Chicago. The All-Star captains and starters revealed tonight at 7 Eastern Time in a special 1-hour pregame show, followed by the double dip of Lakers, Nets, Mavericks, and Trailblazers. He is Greg Anthony. How are you, Greg?
Rich, how are you, sir? Happy belated New Year to you.
Right back at you. Right back at you. What'd you make of Zion's debut last night, sir?
I thought it was really impressive, particularly because he was really good at what was always perceived to be the biggest weakness, right? What's his perimeter shooting. Didn't really display his explosiveness that we all know he has, and I think part of that is he's still getting confidence and trust, and, he hadn't played in the real game, hadn't had any throwing in his body, so but his feel was what was most impressive. I mean, the shooting obviously was huge, but I thought his feel, just the way he could make plays, the kind of teammate he is, I think a lot of positives to take away from that. And then the bigger picture is the guy is just exciting. You're on the edge of your seat waiting to see what he's going to do next. And from a fan's perspective, I mean, you couldn't ask for anything more.
Yeah, I mean, the it factor certainly showed up after a while. And the neat part about it is, Greg, is that, you're 19, you're on ESPN, you've got 5 points, your team's down at home by double digits. Normally, I mean, you couldn't excuse a 19-year-old for just folding a 10 up. And then in the fourth quarter, he just took it over. That was something I would take away from that, is that there's no give up. That's a good thing to see, even though it's just one regular season game.
Yeah, and his situation in a weird way, I think could be very similar to what he had at Duke with R.J. Barrett, who kind of came in as the guy. He kind of flew under the radar a little bit and was accepting of that, and he still was able to shine. And I think with the emergence of Brandon Ingram, who's a guy that they're going to rely on, he's shown that his ability to play with other talents, and not make it about him, that's so invaluable, as you're trying to build something. And I just think the Pelicans are about as lucky and have to be about as optimistic as one could be with a young team about the future.
Give me the best case scenario of what you think you see 10 games from now from him.
I think you'll see his explosiveness back. I think you'll see him have a better feel for his teammates. That's the other thing that, that continuity doesn't exist yet. And I think you're going to see all of that stuff come to the forefront. And I think you'll see him be more aggressive. I thought early on he was a little tentative, which is expected. I think the kid's going to be a superstar in our league, and it's a breath of fresh air.
Greg Anthony here on the Rich Eisen Show. Ask Greg Anthony the poll question.
Yeah,
there.
Greg, so we're looking at which young superstar would you want for the next decade? So a crossover football, basketball. Joe Burrow, Tua, Zion, and Ja Morant.
Zion, without a doubt. I don't even think it's close. And that's not to say that all those guys aren't going to become great players. The difference with him is he's got an it quality that you can't manufacture, right? He's going to do, and Ja's got some of that, but nobody's come in with the expectation and the hype like a LeBron since Tiger as an athlete. And nobody, and the beauty of Tiger and LeBron, those are the two guys that came in with all those expectations. They actually lived up and probably surpassed it. And, again, Zion has the capability to be that. As great as Ja's been and Burrow, they also, in Burrow's case, he doesn't necessarily control his own destiny, right? We've seen great quarterback talents go to bad situations, bad offensive line, front office, the whole nine, and they end up not making it. So I go with Zion without a doubt.
And is there anything Zion can do, you think, that could take the Rookie of the Year award from Morant, or no?
No, nothing. Just not with playing a half a game. I don't think I wouldn't vote for you if you only played 40 games.
Really? Even if he goes crazy like this and he gets stronger and he goes through like a 10-game stretch that nobody could even see coming. So there's nothing that could be done.
I still wouldn't give it to him over that. That doesn't mean he's not the better talent, but I just couldn't give him that because he hadn't played enough. How you got to have a certain amount of points or shots or whatever to qualify.
Sure.
For a title. I feel the same way about a Rookie of the Year or an MVP.
Greg, thanks for the call. We'll get you back on when you're not in transit, and we'll give it a good go. Thanks for the call, bud.
You got it, my friend. All the best.
Right back at you, Greg Anthony at Turner Sports.
For more of the Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.